Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, episode 116. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf. And did I hear you say podcast?
Podcast.
That's what it sounded like.
I don't know. Is that what it sounded like? You making fun of me, Wolf?
Just a little bit.
Very offended over here. So, anyway, welcome guys to the show. It's been a while. It's been over a month since the last episode, and well, JMR's been quiet and I've been really busy, so I feel like both excuses are valid there. But JMR's starting to cook up again, and my semester's starting to come to an end, so the shows are going to be coming out regularly once again. Hopefully Marble ManiaX won't take too long to come out.
Yeah, and I just realized, I thought about, the game also got an update, so there actually is quite a bit to discuss on this episode.
Yeah, game still looks bad. Maybe a couple updates graphics wise, but still doesn't look amazing. If we touch on the game today, great. If we have to do a lot more of the game next time, then so be it. But yeah, they still got a long ways to go, but at least they're continuing to add new events. And I heard there is going to be some sort of skill based or some sort of multiplayer thing. I don't know if it's already out or if it's there, but
they added a version of multiplayer to the game. I just didn't get to test it because no one was online when I was doing it.
But hey, it's promising if they're taking in the direction where they're going to start to have skill-based aspects of the game. But that being said, I went to the JMR meet and greet last Saturday. Was it last Saturday? Yes. So a week before today. It was a long trip. I had to take a subway to the bus stop, 4-hour bus ride, then an hour train ride after that, just to get there. And the trip was awful because it was just uncomfortable and I was just tired the whole time. But I will say that was totally, totally worth it. I can't even believe that I got to have that experience, to actually see, literally touch gel from JMR. I literally did. There was I remember we were sitting, he was sitting in the booth and I was sitting in the booth because I had wanted to get a picture with all of them and everything. And he just started talking. He's like, it's so cool that, I'm paraphrasing, of course, he talks differently than Marble Guy. But basically, it's so cool. Normally my fans are 4,000 miles away or more and I never get to see them. So it's so cool that I get to be here and see them and even touch them. And he put out his hand and then I put out my hand and we had a little high five kind of moment. It was touch gel. That's crazy. That's cool. That's the awesome guy. That's the guy who made made all the shit that we watch and talk about. So I don't know. It was crazy. I'll kind of try to summarize the whole thing so you guys get a sense of what you missed out on there. But basically I got there and I got there at the restaurant. The restaurant was in the back. So there was this big building, a big square looking building, about 2 floors. I don't know why 2 floors, but it was. And the front didn't have an entrance, a very clear entrance. It was more the entrance in the back. So I got there in the front and it just happened to be that that's when they were arriving. So Jel and Dion were out there. They had their camera. There was a camera crew with them to filming them, and I'll get to that in a minute, but basically there was a camera crew there. They were filming them, whatnot. Great. And then so I'm like, dude, these are the guys. They're right here. That's crazy. So I was like, hey guys, because I didn't know where to go. Actually, I didn't know I had to go to the back. And they were like, and they were like, hey, how you doing? And the film person started filming me, waving to them, and I was like, this is surreal. This is so cool. How is this happening right now? Dion. Oh my God. Dion. But and then they said, "Oh, just go around to the back. We'll be there in a second." So I headed around to the back, and I got in there, and there was a bunch of people there. Like there was, I think total probably about 30 people, 30 fans showed up, which is not bad considering that New York has only one of like the whole world of possible places where fans for JMR come from. Which I realized that because I noticed there's a lot of comments on. By the way, just warning you, this is going to be a long intro because we're going to cover the whole meet and greet in the intro. So this is going to be a long intro. So just letting you know. But there was like, when they posted about it, there was a lot of comments saying, "Oh my God, I want to be there, but I can't make it. I can't be there at the day, or I just can't get all the way to New York or whatever." So, yeah, it was hard for a lot of people to get there. So the people that could make it, I mean, I realized that like, because I was almost expecting there to be like hundreds of people there, but then realized it's just doesn't make sense. Like, because most of the fans are spread out over everywhere in the world. So, it's not like if you had a meet and greet with a particular sports team where everybody who likes that team is kind of in one place. So, yeah, but the fact that 30 people showed up was pretty cool. Around, I don't know the final count, but yeah, so I got in there, started talking to some of the people. They were all wearing their merch, so everyone had like different things on. There was a guy with a Lima's hat who's actually in the Racing Marble League Discord, so that was cool. I met him. There was a guy, there's a little kid who's like a Speeders fan, so that was cool. Obviously, Term showed up. He's a Rangers fan. There was just, everyone was wearing their merch, and, you know, we just talked. We just talked about favorite teams. We talked about, you know, how much we enjoy the content and how much it's mean to us. I plugged my podcast a couple times, and some people like, you know, got that information. So that's really cool. So if I met you at the meet and greet, hi, I do this still. So welcome to the show for the first time, probably, unless you've listened to past episodes because you couldn't wait to hear about marbles. But yeah, so and then we just, you know, we were sitting there talking, and then they walk in, and Greg is there too, which was crazy. And so, you know, they just start talking to us. It's like, it wasn't like weird, like we had to like line up to see him or anything though. They just started talking to us. Dion kind of walked around. He came over, talked to me he had to talk to me for a while about just like, I guess it was whatever was on his mind about the channel. He just talked to me, you know, and about the experience. And it was like that camera guy filming, and there was like other people there that like weren't part of JMR because they were, apparently I learned later, they were filming a documentary. And this is part of it. So they wanted to get like a fan meet and greet as a part of this documentary, right?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can't believe I missed being part of a documentary.
Oh, just wait a second, Waff. But so yeah, so there's talking, and I get to talk to Greg Woods. I got to talk to Dion. We took pictures. It was just insane. It was insane that all of that was happening right there. You know, and then like they made us pay for our own food, which kind of sucked, but we had to order our own food there. So they had good fried rice. I will say the fried rice was worth it. And they gave you a lot. It was supposed to be just a side, but they gave you like a full bowl. I was like full after that. Yeah, but then so I'm just there, and at that point, Jell, Greg, and Dion were all sitting together in a booth with all the marbles, by the way, laid out. All the marbles that are in the videos laid out on like a towel, like on that table, which was also just insane to see. Like I touched Yellow Eye and Red Eye. I touched them, like I held them in my hand, and I have a picture of that. I should have posted the pic. I will. But I literally held the crazy cat's eyes in my hand, which was crazy. Fuck.
That's cool.
But so they were over there, and the marbles were out. So I come over because I wanted to get like a selfie with all of them just to remember the day. So I go over there, sit down, and I'm taking like, you know, I go to take a selfie, and then this woman comes over. I guess she's helping run up the documentary. She's like, "Oh, I'll take a picture, you guys." So I was like, "Okay, thanks." So we all get in a picture, big moment, takes a picture. And then after that, the camera guy comes over, and then the woman starts interviewing me right there in front of, with all of them in camera. They just asked me like 15 minutes. They start asking me questions about my experience with JMR and just everything that I guess I could say about how it's had an effect on me and the podcast and how that's going and everything, and they just interviewed me for 10 minutes. And then they had me sign something after the interview, consenting to be in this documentary. So I will be in this documentary, talking for some amount of time, actually like talking to the camera. It's crazy. I'm going to be in that. And so
my jealousy is through the roof, dude.
And I think Term got in too, because Term and Dion were talking like 5 minutes, and they were like filming him too, and he said I said that they were going to put him in. So like, that's so cool. Like, fans will be in the documentary. I don't know how much of me they'll put in, because, you know, editing, that's a part of the process. So if I get like 15-30 seconds, I'll be happy if they get the best moments of me pontificating or whatever. But it was so cool to be able to sit there right next to the three guys who make this happen, and then talk about how impacted I've been by the three guys who make this happen, and the marbles laying right there being whatever. And it was unbelievable. I can't believe I'm be in the documentary. Like, I can't believe I will be in a documentary.
That's crazy. Like, did you mention the podcast to like either like the interviewer or like to Yella and them?
They asked me about the podcast in the interview, so I did mention it. And then I also asked her, like, if you put my name up on the screen, can you put like host of MSW podcast so people know? But I should have like plugged it too. I should have said you can find it on YouTube and whatever. But I forget if I did, because I was just in the I wasn't even expecting it. It was they didn't like build me up to this. They just came over and started talking at me. So I kind of just had to impromptu start coming up with shit in my head. So, man, I don't know. It was cool. It was definitely worth the time. I got to talk to Greg about commentary, and he said he'd be willing to like look at my stuff and give me feedback, which is nice. And he hasn't read his Twitter message yet, but hopefully he will eventually. I know he's a busy man. But like, I don't know, just meeting them, like, come on, it's the best. It was the best.
So my brain skipped a beat for them. Did you say that like they have heard of that they did listen to the podcast?
I don't know if like Joe and Dion have, but like Dion didn't even remember that he like shouted us out on the channel.
Huh?
Like, which is funny.
It was a few years ago.
No, he like about the Marble League game review.
That was, that was Yella though. Yella did that.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. I forget who's in charge of everything. So yeah, it's. I think they kind of know, but it's like they're busy, so it's like they're not. They don't sit there and listen to the podcast all the time. But I mean, like,
I get you.
It was cool. It was just so cool. And it was worth. And then there was like a 4-hour bus ride back. Oh, funny story. So trains come every hour, right? So the train that goes back to where the bus was. So when I got out of the meeting or whatever, it was like a little bit past 3. So I got back up to the train stop, and then it said on the sign, next train not till 3:57. And my bus is at 4:30, and the train ride is like 45 minutes. So I was like, uh-oh. So that's not good. So I was like, what am I going to do? So first of all, I sat there for a second and I was like, uh-oh, this is bad. And then I was like, wait, maybe there's another station around. Oh, first of all, I called the guy who owned the restaurant where they hosted this, and I was like, because he's like a big Marble fan, that's how they got hosted there. And I was like, dude, like, I'm gonna miss my bus. Is there anything maybe you can, if you happen to be driving that way? But he was like, he had already left, so like that sucked. But he said like there's stations around, right? There's other stations. Maybe you can Uber to one. So I was like, all right. And so the one he recommended was too far away. I didn't want to Uber. I wanted to like just walk. But then it was still far. So there's one closer that had like a train at 3:40, and it was like 2 miles away. So I just jogged 2 miles with my backpack on. It was heavy and uncomfortable to get to the station, and I got there just in time for that train. I got on that train. I got back, and then I went to go to the bus, which was like a 5-minute walk from the train, and I missed it by like 1 minute. Like it was, and I had to sit there for another hour and a half, which kind of sucked. So all that exercise for like nothing. But no, and that was the day. I didn't get back to like 11, so it was a long day. But
wow,
I got up at like 4:30. But it was so worth it. It was. Damn, I can't believe that I've met those people. don't know. That was awesome. Maybe they'll do one every year. Maybe they'll do one in the future. But it's worth the trip if you're like, should I really go out there for 3 hours? Like, yeah, you should. Especially like the fans meeting other people who are into the same thing, and then meeting them, and then seeing the marbles. Like, you're not gonna get another time to do it. They're not gonna do this all the time. You will not get millions of chances to meet these people. So if you can, you should definitely try. I think are they doing one in California still? Did they do that one yet?
I haven't heard anything about a California one, but like, I'm definitely gonna try my best to go to the next one. Like, I really wish I had gone to this one, dude.
Nah, yeah, it was worth it. I don't know if there'll be a documentary filmed every time they go at this point, but it's just,
yeah, probably not.
It's an experience worth having, and like especially for me who's been invested in this so long, and other people who are really invested in this, you can't miss it, because you may not get another chance. Honestly, I don't know how often they're gonna do this, but yeah, that's a long intro, but that's basically all the things that happened. If you have any specific questions of stuff that I just didn't even remember, then you should definitely email in. Oh my God, mswpodcast@gmail.com. That's mswpodcast@gmail.com. And you should email in and ask questions. Ask me things that maybe I didn't even remember to talk about. Write in. So, or write in about other things, because now we're back into probably more consistent podcasts. So we definitely want to hear from you guys as much as possible. So continue to write in Marble ManiaX ideas, predictions for this coming year of Marble sports, whatever you want. Thoughts on the new teams. We just got 5 new teams. All right.
Yeah.
So definitely worth writing in on those. But yeah, that will do it for the intro. That was a long one, but I wanted to start with that and get that out there, right? I just wanted to push that out there. So you guys really knew about that experience, start to finish. And all right, well, we haven't heard from Johnny Marble in a while. Oh, do you want to say something, Waff?
This intro's gone really long, so a lot has happened in my life too. So I might keep it brief. Like, I'll just say is that for YouTube viewers, like, I don't know. So a lot happened on the Discord while you were gone, and so basically something happened, and I promised I would do something for this episode. So for the YouTube watchers, you'll get to see something special, I guess, on this episode.
I guess that will be at the end then, or?
No, it's more like, I don't know, like I might just like get up and show the camera or something. I guess I know like Tony wanted like this for like this one episode, so it's like I'll try doing something for it.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see. I don't know what that is, so I'm excited to see.
I think you already know what it is, but you just don't think you remember what it is.
Probably not. But yeah, we haven't heard from Johnny Marble in forever, so let's go hear from him and the news in the community. And when we come back, we're going to dive right into some user emails, because we haven't heard from you guys in a while as well. Let's go to the news.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. It's been a while, so let's catch up on everything that's happened this past month. Our first bit of news covers the first race of the Elite Racing Series, which is a competition between the 12 marbles who have placed first in a Racing Marble League event. The race took place at the USA Circuit, the largest track in RML's history, and featured various types of corners to challenge the racers. These racers really gave it their all, but the winner in the end was the 2-time RML champion Crimson Lady, followed by Tornado in second and T-Bot in third. Moving on over to JMR, we have news of the revival of Marble ManiaX, a competition that will feature several extreme events. The competition is being hosted by the Balls of Chaos, who will also be competing. They are joined by Marble League veterans the Pinkies and the Shining Swarm, as well as the Blackjacks, who've come out of retirement, and 4 new teams. It's great to see the Blackjacks return to Marble Sports, and it'll be interesting to see how these new teams fare against these seasoned veterans. Perhaps the extreme nature of this competition will make things more even between them, but only time will tell. Well, that's all the news I have for you, so let's wrap it on up. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with the podcast.
All right, we are back from the news, and it's been a while since I've said that. Thank you, Johnny Marble, for bringing us exciting news this week. I wonder what he said. I wonder what he had to say this week. It's been a while. Definitely should mention the meet and greet if he hadn't. Hope he mentioned it. But anyway, guys, we're going to start off with emails. Again, mswpodcast@gmail.com. One of my favorite things about literally living on this planet is when you guys write in to that email, because you can just say anything. You could say anything and we'll read it and we'll talk about it. If you say something about marbles, we'll be a lot more ready to talk about it, but you can say anything and we will discuss it. So with that being said, we got 3 emails. We're going to discuss them, and let's get started. So Edu writes in November 23rd. Shit, it's been a while. Future of M1 plus going extreme. Okay, let's see what he has to say. Big email here. Out of caution, I want to state that this text is a personal opinion. Well, good way to start. M1 Season 3 will be more important than it seems to be. Why? Because depending on how it progresses, it may decide the fate of the series and its place in the channel for the future. The development of the concept and the production of the past 2 editions have heavily relied on brainstorming from the former committee. It's fair. Unlike other features, the group was an integral part of the process from start to finish, handling a variety of complex tasks. When the workflow was disturbed, we saw the effects. The second half of Season 2 is now negatively marked as the symbol of internal crisis and the eventual dissolution of the committee. Will the association be able to take on the challenge? It has passionate fans who are dedicated to giving the best viewing experience, but they'll enter an unexplored territory with the bar set high. If managing the production ends up being too much for them, it may be the end of the road for M1. All right, well, as usual, Edu, in his fancy language, basically saying that we should be wary of the fact that the JMA has to face their first Marbula 1, right? Mm-hmm. And that... he does bring up a good point. It's harder than it seems because they're not used to the long-term built-up brainstorming the other committee went through to go from never having a Marbula 1, because the committee was there before the first Marbula 1, to having 2. And so all that ideation they went through and trying out new ideas and kind of building upon what they had before, they don't have that. They have a sense of it, but they don't have that work done on it, that experience with it. So it's going to be interesting. Marbula 1 is one of those series that needs a solid foundation of the people working on it, and it needs something new every year, or it's going to go flat. And it takes a lot to produce that. There's a lot of... of course, Marble League is a lot of production too, but Marble League already has a very open kind of environment for ideas. It's a little bit easier to from the idea standpoint and from the being able to still make a good production even if you have not a lot of experience working with it. But Marbula 1's very it's a little closed, so they're going to have to be more creative, and it's going to be a lot of new things for them. So I don't think that's going to mean the end of the road for M1, right? I don't think it's going to be the end of the road if they don't figure it out this time, but it definitely might be. They might have some challenges early on.
I would definitely agree with that. I don't know if it'll be as hard because they didn't have to come up with it completely from scratch. And at the very least, I think roughly through the halfway point is when the committee shift happened. So they at the very least have a quarter or a half of a season of experience with working with M1. So it'll still be rough for them, I'm sure, but I don't know if it'll be as rough as each you probably expect it to be.
Edu follows in the comments with maybe MX will replace M1. I, first of all, don't think so. If anything, MX will replace SMR, which also I think is a bad idea. Honestly, their best idea is MX should be a 4th edition to the year. Since their whole existence as a company is based on uploading content to YouTube, if they block it out, then they could easily fit in those 4 tournaments across the whole year. And they would pretty much be always active bar a month. And that's what you should be. If you're a full-time YouTuber, you need to be always active bar a month, right? I mean, in some cases you're never not active, but like a month tops off, especially if that's all you're doing to make money. And so if I were them, I would really try to work on making MX like a fourth tournament. Okay, and talking in that line is why I think that there should have been 8 new teams instead of 8 of the teams, like some of the teams we already have, plus some of the new teams. We'll talk about that when we get there. Mm-hmm. But like, they have to put that in there because they need to stay active as a channel, or it will continually be this weird rise and fall where people are in it and then out of it, and then because like, oh, we have to wait 2 months for another video. Oh, okay, we have this Marble Machine video, which is, I mean, I'm not into those, so they might as well be inactive. And so it should be a way to stay active, and M1 is honestly one of the most unique and popular things on the channel. I personally prefer Marble League, but there's a lot of people who love M1 for its Formula 1 kind of replication. So I just think that there shouldn't be, hopefully they're not thinking of like kind of moving MX in and then pushing something out. Let's finish the email.
Yeah, and like just to add on to that, like the original hosts of the Let It Roll podcast, like they primarily only watch JMR for M1, so there's definitely a audience who only really care about that and don't care about the rest. So I don't think they're gonna get rid of M1
for sure. There were 2-3 other podcasts that only existed for M1 that are F1 podcasts at core or something else at core, and did this. I just almost dropped my phone. Oh. Did the M1 as a part of their podcast because they liked how it actually related to F1. And so that's going to be, that part is very specific to a lot of fans who don't necessarily find as much enjoyment in the other stuff. And they remove the series is a bad idea. Okay? Email. Here we go. All right, so rest of the email. Later update, added November 24th. Thanks for telling us that. Wait, what? This email was sent on November 23rd. How did he add something to it on November 24th?
So I think what it was, maybe I think he wrote some of these ahead of time and had them like in like a text file to then copy paste over, and then this bottom section was probably added on that date. So the original, I think the original part was 3 months ago. I think is what you mentioned.
Understood.
And the bottom section is recent.
Well, if I want you to listen one more time, the email was sent to our inbox on the 23rd. He says later update added on November 24th.
Huh. That's a good question.
Oh, time zones? Did you send this at like...
Isn't he in Brazil?
Yeah, your time zone should be like the same. Or like behind. You're in Brazil.
Brazil can probably be, I think, 1 hour ahead of us.
Did you send this at like 1 a.m. your time? -3? A worm? What? We're negative. What are we? -4?
I think I'm -5.
What time is it for you, Edu? What time is it for you right now? Yeah, this is more. This is more important than the Marble Mania. We're gonna come to the bottom of this. We have to know. We have to find out how this number discrepancy occurs. He's typing.
I love how we're spending our time on our Marvel podcast.
It's night with the freaking military time.
Mine's 12. It's 5:15 for him.
Well, it's 5:15 for us.
Wait, no, sorry. I'm sorry. It's 7:15 for him.
Oh, so if you sent, okay, I guess if you sent this like after 12 and before 2 a.m. on the 24th, then the update makes sense. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'm done with that. You guys puzzle that out. I'm gonna leave that to y'all. So later update added November 24th. I see that work started on the new Extreme series. Ideally, I would prefer it as a standalone tournament with all new exclusive teams. Thank you, Adu. I love you. But most likely option is the addition of the names we're used to see. And to be honest, I don't like to see the channel becoming over-reliant on the same old ML teams. Fair. I understand so many viewers are very attached to their squads, hence why MR is struggling to gain traction. Marble Rally. But maybe that's not the way to go if you want to offer a variety. Well, here's what I'm going to say to that. It is different when you talk about Marble Rally as opposed to a new tournament with teams. Marble Rally has trouble gaining traction because, first of all, they're not teams. they're single marbles. So it's hard to relate as a team to different marbles, like because they're just singles. They don't have logos. The names aren't as like well thought out with different vibes. They're pretty good, but they're no ML team type names. So it's not the same quality as far as reaching out to the audience. Also, MR has a lot more competitors, so they kind of get lost. A lot of them just get lost in the sauce of the races. The races are a little bit more repetitive, and so it's hard to really there's a few, red number 3, Super Bowl that stick out, and you love them, but it's hard to get behind them and want to buy merch or want to write lore about Super Bowl as opposed to the O-Rangers. So when you talk about Marble ManiaX, you're coming up with a new tournament with a very creative idea if they do it right, of X Games, Extreme Sports, and you can come up with 8 new teams, right? You can make logos and you can do the whole lore thing or whatever it is. Marble Earth Project by Stint, he did a great job with that. But you can do all that. And you can probably garner similar attention from the fan base and actually then expand the fan base. Because now the fans are like, all right, we got ML and Marbula 1 and I like this team. But then I come over and to Marble ManiaX, suppose it ends up being a good series. And I like this team. And this team will never be in Marble League and M1. And the Savage Speeders, if you're a fan of them, but sure, will never be in Marble ManiaX. So I can be fans of both of these teams separately and love their logos and their lore and everything because they're not crossing over. And if they did, that would have been smarter in my opinion. So I will say I don't know why they didn't do that, but again, I just think it's maybe I just think it wasn't thought out enough and they didn't realize that might have been better. Though then again, maybe there's reasoning against it. Who knows? Waff?
Yeah, I'm not really. So, they did a teaser for it, where it's this Marble League team is gonna blah blah blah, almost hinting, okay, based on these context clues, you can guess it. One of the teams wasn't even actually what we thought it was, and one of the teams that was a retired team, and I'm actually kind of excited to have them back. They're a fan favorite, obviously. We'll get into that after the email section. But I think I do agree having new teams would have been better to make it more distinct. But to say that they would never, I honestly, I'm certain that if they were popular enough, then they would probably get added to the roster of these teams will get to actually compete in the qualifiers. Heck, for all we know, that's actually what's going to happen. Some of these teams probably are going to, because I think they said, it was 4 teams are going to be joining the showdown next year. Some of them can be returning teams, some of them can be new. So with 4 brand new teams, there is a possibility that some of them actually will be in showdown.
That's true, and that might be nice if we come to the new teams. We'll talk about them soon.
It's a good way to introduce them early to get a fan base going ahead of time, so they should have some hype going into it.
I think they missed out on a chance to expand the Marble Sports. World, right? Think about it. Look at Marble ManiaX, right? Choose a different size marble, 21 millimeter. 25 millimeter. Make a team of 4, team of 5, team of 3. Right? There's more numbers than 4. There's 4 and all the other numbers. Team of 10 might be too much. But there's 3 and 2 and 5 and 5 plus 1. There's so many. They could have taken a bigger marble, made a completely different team structure, still had logos in a similar style, and they could have gone crazy with different types of events that accommodate or play to the fact that you have heavier, larger marbles. And they could have this whole new series with this whole new growing fan base likely. And they missed out on that. I still think Marble ManiaX is going to be pretty good if the events are cool. But I think they made out a chance. Well, we don't
Sorry.
Yeah, I saw the comment. Yeah. We'll give a formal introduction to Marble ManiaX before we start talking about it because we're gonna have to get to the rest of these emails. But basically, it's Extreme Marble Sports, as I said. But we'll kind of dive into that better. basically, they missed out on that chance, in my opinion. Let's move on to another email. Alex is cool. We haven't heard from him in a while. He writes in. He used to be very consistent, and then we kind of both dropped off in the last few weeks, though, few months. So here we go. He says, a lot to update on you on. Subject. Where have I been? IDK, lol. So first thing, I had to delete my 850 subscriber channel. Oh, congrats at 850 subscriber channel because my ex-best friend spammed comments that were ... Oh, you did 4 dots. You suck. 4 dots? Yeah, that's 4. It's 3. Not very... Sorry. Not very nice. I would usually retaliate, but he makes Minecraft videos, so hey, what's he gonna do? Fair enough. I don't know what's going on, so...
I feel like that's extreme. I feel like you can report a channel for, like, constantly spamming.
I think it was...
get them...
I think it was a bad idea to delete a channel that you actually kind of grew pretty well. Like,
I think that's excessive.
But, do what you will. Also, I guess I should let you know that I have a new channel. I won't say the name here because I don't want to self-promote. You can self-promote, because in the emails is all right. But just so y'all know. I was kind of disliking marbles for a while because no one at my school thought they were cool. I feel that, man. At my high school, no one really watched it besides me. But, like, I just liked it, so I had to. I was like, I don't care. So you always have the attitude, like, if a bunch of people just don't like something that you're into, it looks even worse if you start to fold because they make fun of it. All right? Like, part of, I guess, growing up, but also just part of being, like, your own person is being like, you know what? I like this, and I like this no matter if everybody else does. Even if I'm the only person on the world that likes this. I like this because I like it, not because other people like it or don't like it. So just try to keep that mindset. I definitely went through that a little bit in high school because I was like, I'm into this thing. And everyone's like, I don't know what that is. And that looks crazy to me. So no. But you got to stick with things that you like.
I'm seeing Alex said that his friend was using his channel to post comments. But to that, I say you could have just changed your password so your friend couldn't access your channel.
That's fair too. There were solutions to that. Wait, actually. Oh, it keeps showing me top chat in the thing instead of all chat, so I just missed all this YouTube chat, whatever. All right, but basically, yeah, you should stick to what you like. Try not to let other people, affect your preferences. It's hard to do that, just peer pressure and whatever, and then you feel weird, but yeah. Continuing, I was so I was kind of liking marbles. Nobody at school thought they were cool. After I learned that everyone in my school is a big dumb poo-poo head, okay, well said. I grabbed some Hot Wheel tracks and Legos and had the most fun I had in a while. Speaking of Hot Wheel tracks, I do commentary for that Hot Wheels channel, Races and Fun. So just putting that out there. I still do that, and it's just so fun. I love doing it for them. So yeah, I have emailing for more than a year. Halloween 2020. You have been emailing for more than a year, I guess. Also, I have a question for you lovelies to ponder. How cool is it that MarbleCon actually happened? It's not MarbleCon, but sure. Check Giela's community tab. They did a meetup in NYC. I know. You know how I know? I was there. I touched the crazy cat size. It's crazy. It's crazy that I touched the crazy cat size. All right. Well, that's all from the YouTube obsessed kid with the voice cracks now. I'm literally a dog whistle, but thanks, you guys. All right, I'm going to keep cleaning my room. Thanks, Alex, for writing in. Your emails are always very interesting. Good luck with all that you're going through right now. Seems to be a lot mentally. But yeah, I think it's crazy that it even happened, that they even did the meet and greet. But yeah, it was great. All right, one more email and then Marble ManiaX. Mini Marble League, wrote in by Richard Hinckley. He says, I am creating a new Marble League with the smaller marbles. Some of them are similar in looks to the larger marbles. Oh, so I guess these are like 14 or 12 millimeters. They look quite smaller than your average in the picture. Should I give the names of the marbles like White Shadow Jr. and Lava Jr., or should they be given unique names?
I would say unique names, make them more distinct.
I think that you can get away with, and pretty nicely, with one or two teams making a reference to existing teams that are larger and do the junior thing, but you should do that once, maybe twice, and you should be unique the rest of it. The reason things succeed on YouTube is because they're unique. So if you're gonna make Marble Sports, where the canvas is open for Marble Sports, because it literally started 5 years ago. You can make something new in Marble Sports, and even if you think all the ideas are taken, I can tell you for sure, based on my time right now with the Racing Marble League committee, working with them, that you can come up with new ideas, because we're doing a tournament 4 marble team style thing, and we've come up with like completely new ideas, mostly for our 12 event tournament, that like do not resemble JMR events at all. You can be creative. So I mean, and that's how you succeed. So I would say it's nice to make a reference, like for one team, I don't know, like maybe do the junior speeders for one, but then the rest of them should be unique. You should really take time to come up with names that you think are captivating and just representative of the marbles that you have, and really try to be unique as possible. So it's my opinion.
Agreed.
And that will do it for emails. Again, please write in. We love to hear from you. Marble ManiaX.
All right.
Waff, you start us off. Give us an explanation of what that is, and then we'll dive into some of the aspects of it.
Sure, yeah. I know this is derailing, but I feel like, I did the teaser in the intro, and James is here now, so might as well just get out of the way, right? Let's do it now. I'll take my headphones off so I can't hear you, but I'll just do it real quick. Hello.
Waff's gonna show us something. He's standing up. He's opening his door. I don't know what's about to happen. Hope you're watching on the YouTube, because this is all on the webcam. He's showing off his outfit. Very nice. Look at him. Look at him spinning around. Definitely a little runway in the middle of the episode, sure. Thank you for that, Waff.
There you go, James. I hope you're happy.
Great. Thought he was going to go on some rant about the MX thing. I'll probably do that. All right, anyway, Waff, thank you for that. But now, explain what Marble ManiaX is.
I feel like I should explain that, because that was probably very weird for me. Basically, on my birthday, I decided to just say screw it and be more true to myself. Posted some images of that, and James yo, that looks great, you should put that on the next episode. I was like, okay, so that's what I did. There you go. Story time over. Anyways, back to actual marble talk.
I would hope so.
Oh boy, here we go. So basically, Marble ManiaX, as far as we know, it's supposed to be Marble X Games, I suppose. So I guess maybe think something along the lines of what was that series that MSPN did? It was
the M Games.
M Games, yeah.
M-Games.
So I think it sounds like it might be similar to that.
Though that series never took off the way it.
Yeah,
They
unfortunately,
didn't
it was
post
too
that
much
many
of a commitment.
videos.
Yeah. There is an image, I think, of a tower that you can put up on the screen of what one of the events might look like. It looks like a really tall structure, but I'm not really sure
Where's that image?
what it could be. I think it's somewhere in the JMR spoilers section, I think, something like that.
All right, I will find that image and also continue to talk. So this is an 8-team series. It's going to feature 5 new teams. Well, no, it's going to feature
4 new teams.
4 new teams and 4 old teams, one of which is a team that is coming out of retirement per se, or just hasn't been there a while, and then 3 that have been active. So it's going to be a different style of tournament. It's going to be nice to see new teams.
That is super tall.
I have to find this picture. Why can't I find this? Just in pinned or something? No, we don't. We never pin anything. We suck.
Well, it's in the live chat now. So go.
Oh, okay. Wait. Let me pull that up. I'm gonna open this. Oh crap! I don't know what this could be. All right, you're about to see this.
It is really tall.
All right, so let's start unpacking Marble ManiaX. So again, we know there's 8 teams. We know what the 8 teams are. So we're going to talk about them first. Tournament lineup: I have it up here on the YouTube. I'd recommend you go look at it. You can take a look at the logos, marbles, colors. They have them posted if you want to like look at the specific marbles. But basically, as you can see, we got Balls of Chaos. Obviously, that makes sense. They're hosting. This kind of sets the tone for what we're going to be looking at. This X Games Extreme Sports. You'd think Chaos would fall into that, so it makes sense that the Balls of Chaos will be hosting this. And if you want me to go through all the teams, or do you want to like go back and forth on this?
Well, I think maybe we should go over like the teaser image, because like one of the because a lot of
let's hit the teams first, because I have this picture up already.
Okay, fine, we'll do that then.
That's what I got. I'm saying, do you want to talk about half of them, or do you want me to go through all of them?
I'll talk about. We'll do a half and half.
Okay, so yeah, go.
Maybe I guess we'll do 2 returning teams and 2 new teams each.
Just go back and forth. Just talk about one.
Okay, all right, okay.
You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
All right, first up, we got Balls of Chaos, which
I talked about the Balls of Chaos already. Oh my god! Talk about any other
I'm
team.
sorry.
You have 7 to choose from. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh!
I was just trying to include you in this, so then I'm just gonna go on for 20 minutes.
I'm sorry. No, okay, here's a new team, the Noxious Ivy. Probably my least favorite team in terms of name, just on its own. I gotta be honest.
Really?
Like, I don't know. It feels weird. I don't. Kind of out of place in terms of its naming scheme.
Yeah. I will agree. The naming doesn't sound JMR classic. It's not a terrible name. Like, it's not the worst name I've heard, but it doesn't sound like exactly what you'd expect from JMR. Though I will say all of the names kind of stray a little bit. But I will say I love the logo, and I like the team idea, like that, the ivy and the colors. So I will say that's I like it. But I don't. Yeah, you're right. The name is a little off.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we don't know anything about them, but like, so the teaser, they did a teaser image, like did like hints, like, oh, this team is here to do X, but like then the official reveal photo has them out of order, so it's hard to tell which hint was referring to which team.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna. We'll have to warm up to it. But like I will say, that's not my favorite name. Though I kind of don't really like most of the new teams. Purple Rockets. We'll go to the next one. I don't. The new logo is better, by the way. The one that has more like darker colors in it. But I don't like the name that much. I don't like it. It doesn't. And the logo is like pink anyway. Like it doesn't. It just doesn't ring right. The way JMR names usually ring. So
yeah, I gotta say I kind of agree. I do think it's cool, like for our fans who don't know, the Purple Rockets actually originated from the RetRollSpectives made by Synth. Like they're a lore team that didn't exist before, so like it's really cool that JMR is once again acknowledging this extended lore and canonizing some of it. Like I kind of like that. But yeah, like the name, it feels too I don't know if simple is. I don't think like it just feels kind of weird about it. I don't know what it is, but like Mellow Yellow works, for instance. But I think that's because like
but that's
rhyming.
Because you have the rhyming, and it elicits some sort of feeling. When I say Purple Rockets, I don't get any feeling. When I say Mellow Yellow, I get a very relaxed, melancholy feeling. Maybe, when I say Oh Rangers, I think of something more bold and kind of very engaged. When I say Savage Speeders, I think of a team that's more savage, I guess, but like a team that's like edgy and like fast and good at what they do, and they let people know that they're good at what they do. Like you get feelings from the names. When I say Balls of Chaos, you think of just these pinballs, just all over the place, and so like that's, you get a feeling from most of the JMR teams. You get a feeling when you say the name. Rojo Rollers, you get like this kind of foreign feeling because Rojo is like not English, and you just get a feel from it. Like they could have said like Red Rollers, they could have said anything else, but they said Rojo Rollers. That gives a different feeling off. Jungle Jumpers, I mean, you kind of get like a you kind of get like a feeling of an energetic team from a faraway place, like a jungle, of course, but like you get a feeling. When I say Purple Rockets, I get absolutely no feeling about what unique kind of backstory that team might have. Noxious Ivy, I will say, is a little better, but again, it's just it doesn't give like the same feeling. I mean, like look at like you have 4 and 4 here. Shining Swarm, I mean, that gives off a nice feeling. You can kind of you get like a picture in your mind of what that team might act like if you met them in person. Blackjacks, you get that, you can get a feel. Pinkies, you kind of, and with especially with the pinky out and the logo, you get a feel of like what that team would be like if you met them, like how they would act and how they would interact, and just like the vibe. You don't get that with the new teams, like all of the new teams. Some of them better than others, but you just really, it's not the same. So I will say that that's like a negative for me. Purple Rockets being the worst of the 4 probably for me. But anyway, Go ahead, Waff.
Oh, I see. You just said that the name was mentioned in the video, and I thought he was referring to Noxious Ivy, but no, I realized he was talking about the Purple Rockets and diving, and yeah, like I guess the Purple Rockets have been part of the lore before now, but adding. Also, so this is a general point, but the logos, they definitely still feel kind of like a Tim Ritz logo, but at the same time they feel very.
But they were made by. Were they made by him?
As far as I'm aware, they are made by Tim. Yeah,
they do seem him. They seem like him. He made all these logos, hasn't touched the style in about 2 years, and now is trying to revive it. That's what it feels like, which is exactly what happened. He hasn't done logos for JMR in like a year or two because these were made all back in like 2019. So he's like it's still him, but he has to kind of like remember what like his process for that. So they look like that. They still look good. They still look like they are him, and like the logos are really good. They are, but but maybe there's just a different way he's expanding upon the style, or just a different way he remembers how he went about it. So they are slightly different in the way they're detailed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about the next team, another team. It's not necessarily the next on the list, but Blackjacks. They made it. They've returned. Like they are actually back. They're a fan favorite. I think of all the teams that people said they wanted to come out of retirement, Blackjacks is the one I've heard the most of. Heck, just as a testament to that, we even in our server we've had a Blackjacks logo for the team, even though it didn't have an official logo from Tim. It's like it's been there since. So like people have wanted this, and now it has an official logo, which I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the Blackjacks logo. I like the team. I'm usually against Hubalino teams, but that's more really just the Mini Maniacs. I don't mind the Bumblebees. Mostly I'm against Hubalino teams partly because of the Hubalino thing and the fact that the Mini Maniacs were kind of just they were just let right into the qualifiers. They didn't have to do Showdown. They didn't do Showdown first. You guys remember that, right? Like, I'm pretty sure about this. I'm pretty sure that's why I got upset. Like, they didn't have to start in Showdown to get to Marble League. They just started in the qualifiers and then were just in, and I didn't like that. And also, the other half of it is I don't really like the names. Now, the Hubalino teams in JMR are not bad. But like if Blue Fastix or Valiant Violence or Green Gang ever got into JMR, I would be very upset. But I personally, like, Blackjacks is probably my favorite Hubalino team. Because, I personally am a sucker for the casino, cards, poker chips vibe. So that's going to get me every time. Remember a Roulette Wheel, Waff? One of your favorite
Oh, yeah.
favorite events.
Roulette Wheel.
Oh, that was really bad, I will admit. It just it took so long to like code that in Algadoo. It felt like it must be good then. And like, it was bad. But, no, I like the Blackjacks. I like the vibe they give off. And they give off a vibe. You think Blackjacks, you think of like a casino. You think of like a team that's kind of like dressed up nice, trying their luck, You think of a team that likes to have fun, probably has a bunch of money that they're willing to gamble away. They give off a vibe. You feel what it's like to be a Blackjack.
I didn't actually notice this until just now, but like really like looking at the nameplates below the Tim Ritz logos, I really like the Blackjacks nameplate kind of thing.
Very much, yeah.
But, like, it's probably my favorite of them. there's a lot of style to that. I hope they use these a lot more.
A lot more.
A lot
Actually,
more.
make it
Just
bigger
yeah.
here. I'm gonna make it.
It was just so amazing. It took my breath away for a second.
For sure. All right, I'll continue with one. So let's talk Strixes. I will say this is probably my favorite. Did I say Noxious Ivy was favorite? I think this one's my favorite of the 4. I like owls. I read this like book series way back when I was in high school or like early high school called Guardians of Gahul. If any one of you know the series,
I've seen the movie. That's all, and that's all
I think I might have seen the movie, but the movie's okay, I guess. But the
it's like a summary of like the first 3 books, right? So like basically. It's kind of rushed.
But basically the book series is about owls, and it's kind of like if you ever read Aaron Hunter's like series on animals, it's like that but with owls. I don't know. So I just kind of really liked the whole owl vibe. So I kind of get I guess because I've read the series, I get the vibe from this team, and like Strixus is a very like in like someone who's into owls type word. Like no one just thinks owls and they're like, oh, Strixes. It's like it's like a more scientific-y name, or like a name for people who know about owls. So I think it's nice. I think it's kind of tough to say. The name is tough to say, so I feel like it's gonna sound weird. Like Greg will have trouble saying that if he's trying to talk really fast in a race. But I think the name's nice, and the logo is just amazing, and it does. This one gives off the most like vibe to me, the most feel to me. Like they have some sort of sense to them, that it's not just a random name like generated off the internet and now let's make a logo. I will say this is my favorite of the 4 logos too, though, because the owl just looks just staring at you. It's nice. So I'm excited for this team. I don't know. Again, we don't know anything about the 4 new teams skill wise, so can't say anything about that. But yeah, I like that team.
I guess like so I was going through the teaser stuff, and I think I figured out who is who. Sort of like the teaser for this new, like one that says this new team. This new team is ready to fans of this new team can hardly breathe with excitement. I thought that might be Noxious Ivy because like noxious fumes, but I think maybe it's constrictors because like they constrict, they suffocate.
Yeah.
So I think. Then there's this new team is seeking to blast off following small. That's purple rockets.
Yeah.
This new team has shown aptitude with logic and keenness to participate. I think that's owls because they're known as
Wisdom.
Logical and stuff.
Wisdom.
So I guess that's all we know about them from this. Is like, oh, they're a wise and logical team.
Yeah. No, and that's the vibe it gives off, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one. This new team is ready to add another wreath to their collection. So I guess like this is a team that's supposed to have a history of competing.
Well, wreaths are made of ivy.
Oh shoot! Well, there you go. That's
good job, Waff.
But wreaths are also used as almost like metals in certain things. So is that meant to also imply that Noxious Ivy has a history?
I don't know. Maybe we'll get a RetRollSpective that explores that soon. Anyway, Waff, you want to talk about another team? We have 3 left here.
Yeah. Like we kind of mentioned Shining Swarm passing, but we'll go to them. And like this one is like I think what people are most upset about because like one of the teasers, it was this Marble League team wants to branch out to extreme sports. Now you would think branch Jungle Jumpers.
Oh, that's
that
true.
makes sense.
So where's Shining Swarm fit into that?
Apparently it's Shining Swarm.
I don't get that.
It makes no sense because the other ones they make sense. Like the Marble team, this Marble team, like blah, blah, blah. This Marble League team likes to err on the side of danger. That's Balls of Chaos.
Yeah.
Then this team is waltzing to their way into new territory. Waltz is a dance. Pinkies dance. Pinkies.
Oh yeah, that's true.
This retired team decided it was time for a comeback. That could have literally been anything, but that's done on purpose, to leave some ambiguity.
Yeah.
But then like branching out, really? That's all they could come up with Shining Swarm?
They could have done a lot better. The Shining Swarm doesn't really have like a solid object that goes with its name. What is a Shining Swarm? They could have come up with something better though.
Fireflies, I guess. They're like fireflies shine and they swarm around because they're bugs.
I don't know. I'm happy to see the Shining Swarm. We don't see them a lot, and they're not terrible. I don't know. I don't really know, but I'd like to see them in a new light. They're not a team that people really care about a lot, so I'm excited, I guess, to see them. I mean, really, they're neither here nor there for me, but I'm not against them. It's not like putting like the Rojo Rollers or like the Indigo Stars into this,
Yeah. Super X is mentioning that they could have done something like because the Shining Storm were also the Marbeats, like they are bands, like they could have done something with that.
True. Yeah. They could have done a lot more, but maybe they just got lazy. Maybe Dion did that one. Oh my god. Constrictors. I'll talk about this one. I like the logo. There's a lot of depth to it. A lot of like in the background shadows and stuff, which I like. This one's probably the furthest from the style you expect from Tim, but it's still a very good logo. Kind of just looks kind of like different in the way he handles colors and borders. But no, I personally think this team is I mean, it's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. It does look a little bit like the Bumblebees, the Marbles. So people have talked about that. I don't think it matters too much as long as it's a little different. And I don't know if the Bumblebees will obviously Marble ManiaX anyway. But again, it's just another new team where I think the name is okay. Like, I think it has like a vibe to it, but again, I don't really get as much of a sense as I should from like a name like Balls of Chaos to what the team is really about. I feel like they could have spent more time coming up with names. I really do. Like, just really thinking and really like being like, how can we continue to accentuate the vibe of JMR? So
right, and like I'm noticing the theme, like some of these teams, like they refer to animals, like the Strixes and the Constrictors. Are these the first animal-based teams that have made it?
Well, we have Green Ducks.
Oh shoot, yeah, we have Green Ducks. Okay.
Okay.
Never mind. Sorry, I don't know. It felt like kind of off. I was trying to figure like why it feels off to me. Like
well, it's true. The two animals.
Yeah, like the logo looks is definitely. I definitely appreciate they put like grooves in the snake's underbelly, so it wasn't just a plain C as a snake. It actually had a bit more detail. So like the logo is definitely more detailed than I expected it to be. But like it does. Why does Green Ducks feel like it works for me, but not Constrictors? Like maybe I felt this way about Green Ducks when they were first introduced. It's just been so.
I did not feel that way about Green Ducks. Like it's weird, and I'm gonna try to think on this, because like there are names that at first glance might feel like they break JMR template. Green Ducks being one of them, but for some reason when you say Green Ducks, it feels like it fits with JMR. But
color, maybe?
When I say Constrictors, that doesn't feel the same. Noxious Ivy doesn't feel the same. I don't know why.
Like, is it because there's a color in it, and like most of the names refer to colors in a way?
Maybe that's a part of it. But it also sounds nice to say too. It works like verbally, so maybe it's part of it. Maybe just like there's a lot of X's. Constrictors, Noxious Ivy, Strixes. They all kind of have like those similar sounds in them, and maybe that just kind of like throws it off. Because too much of that sound is tough to say.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's a very granular thing that most people will probably be like, they're just talking silly right now. But we've been doing this for a while, so we kind of really notice that stuff. And something feels maybe we'll warm up to it, but something feels off right now.
Yeah, Eju posted the other ones. There's the Bumblebees, the Hornets, and the Turtle Sliders. We went over Green Ducks, obviously, but the other two, Bumblebees was Hoobalino, and Hornets and Turtle Sliders were fan teams.
And they both feel like they fit in.
I mean,
to me.
I think it is interesting to point out that like that 75% of them are either from a completely different, or not completely different, but a different style of tournament than Marble League, and then the other two were made by fans, so they probably didn't follow the same style of naming convention. So like, I don't know.
I think the naming convention's fine. Like if it's followed though with all the other ones.
I guess like I don't. Let's see. Because it's just Hornets. Like Hornets is literally just Hornets.
But it works. Like you say
and
Hornets,
Bumblebees, it's just Bumblebees.
And you're like that sounds JMR to me. I can be fine with that.
Why? That is a really interesting question. Why does Constrictors just feel so off to us?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'll have to think on that. If it comes to me, if it comes to me, I will say something randomly.
Yeah, I guess so. Do we have
talk about the Pinkies?
Discussed yet? Oh, Pinkies. Yep. Well, yep. Pinkies are here. Yeah. Like not something I expect them to do, but hey, Pinkies are here for extreme sports.
But it's because no one really gives the Pinkies a lot of attention. Maybe they just wanted to get Pinkies out there more. I'm fine with the Pinkies being there. I think it balances out all the different teams in this Marble ManiaX. I would have liked if they're using teams from Marble League, I would not have minded Savage Speeders because that kind of feels chaotic. O-Rangers with that kind of Western feel actually would have worked too. I know those are two very mainstream teams, but they work with chaotic Marble X type games. What else would have worked? Why am I blanking on every Marble Sports team name? Momo, Mellow Yellow, those wouldn't have worked. Definitely not Momo. Green Ducks, not really. Limers, not really Limers either. The only reason Rangers as a fruit actually gets out of it is because the Rangers have the Western feel. Crazy Cat's Eyes does work. It does work too. So those teams.
Flair is a JMA member, and he actually just posted they wanted to stay away from the super popular teams. They wanted to give lesser known teams a chance to shine.
Well, I figured that because you have the Pinkies here, but I'm just saying as far as vibe match, your three most mainstream teams at this point really are best match for something of X Games type. So, interesting.
That is true.
It is interesting about that. Rojo Rollers might have fit, though they kind of suck and no one cares about them. Mini ManiaX.
So
ManiaX fits, but the minty part kind of doesn't. But neither here nor there. I think Pinkies is just, I don't know. I want to see them. I want to see them compete more anyway because we don't get to see enough of them, and they kind of always seem to just be lackluster. So. That's the teams. Those are the teams. We want to hear what you think about them. I think they're okay. And I want to it's really going to be made up for is Marble ManiaX itself actually an interesting event to watch? If it is, then that makes up for the teams being choices. Let's move on to, let's discuss this giant tower here. And then we'll start to wrap up with a RetRollSpective.
Oh, well, we also have the part about the mole afterward because that's also pretty big.
No, but we're getting late on time here. It's already an hour, so.
The tower, I don't know what it's for. Maybe it's a skydive or a really long race or something. I honestly, genuinely cannot tell what that is supposed to be.
Well, I'm just taking a look at it here. If you look at the tower. You see that there's a couple platforms here. There's one here just above the Marble ManiaX logo. There's a little platform. And then there's one a little bit higher, a higher platform. And then the tower goes up to a certain height and then narrows to a much thinner tower. And then there's something coming off that tower at the top, some sort of beam made of the connects or whatever. So, there's a lot of possibilities there. I don't know. Maybe they're going to do some high-rise tightrope balance beam type thing, and that's kind of the setup for it. I don't know how that would work with marbles, but it's not my problem, I guess. These platforms might be some sort of diving, some singular diving. You know how the diving has different levels, the high dive and low dive, if you see it like pools and stuff. So maybe there's something to do with that, though those are quite large platforms. But I don't know. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell what the tower's going to be for. I feel like, just from looking at it, I feel like there are going to be events that have a lot of extreme motion. We're going to have events where marbles drop a long way. We're going to have events where marbles roll off cliffs. We're going to have events where marbles have to go to crazy heights for whatever it is they're doing. Because I think that's what the kind of chaos they want to put in this. So I'm not necessarily sure what events we're looking at here because... it literally could be anything. But, I don't know, maybe some sort of dives, jumps, tightrope, high in the air, balance beams. Looks like it's going to be more, it looks kind of like a single marble event type thing, at least the one set up here. So, I don't know, again, if you have any thoughts, write in. But yeah, I think next week, maybe we'll actually talk about what we'd like to see in Marble ManiaX, what kind of events we might be interested in. Stuff like that, but for now, based on the information we have, it's hard to tell really where they're going yet.
Yeah, from what I've understood, at least speculation from other people in the community that this is something that Dion is pushed way more, and so I think like people are expecting that Dion is going to be the creative lead, like of this series, but like over like Yella. So we'll get a taste. I guess if they're right about that, we're going to get a taste of what Dion can do, I guess.
No, I'm excited to see if he's got anything interesting up in his sleeve there. But yeah, that's basically the information we have. All right, we're gonna have to wait and see, and I'm sure it will be a few weeks before the first episode comes out, so we'll have more time to talk about what we want, hear from you guys on it, etc. So we're gonna wrap up today just talking about the RetRollSpective. We try to go through one per episode, just kind of briefly celebrate the team. So I got Midnight Wisps up here. Did you read through it, right, Wolf?
Unfortunately, I did not get to read through it. I'll read through it for next week's episode.
All right. Do you want me to talk about it then?
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. I think it was interesting how they started. So they started they did something illegal and got fined for it, like racing.
What?
They went on they had like a tour, a bus tour, and they didn't finish the tour and then just went into the forest to race, and then they were caught trespassing. And then they were banned from that park that they wanted to tour. And it was the discussion, of course, between them was on Marble League 2016. And they just, but that's how they met. That's how they became close and friends and decided they wanted to race together. But they started with some illegal activity, which is funny. And then their name came from a clock tower in their town and the region's legendary Willow Wisps. I don't know if that's a team. They didn't really go into that much, but they took from the clock and the Wisps. So it's interesting to kind of learn about that. And let's see. And the other interesting part was 2018 when they won. They say this well because I think this holds true for the Midnight Wisps as a Marble League champion. They talk about how the Midnight Wisps were far from the focus of that year. There was a lot of other things going on that people were giving a lot more attention. Savage Speeders possibly getting a second championship. The Oceanics absolutely killing it. The Momary thing from the previous year, I guess. But there was a lot of other things going on that people were focused on. And then people weren't really paying attention to the Midnight Wisps until the very end where they realized it. I'm trying to find where they really talk about this because they said this. Yeah, Wisp could not be more relevant prior to this event. The season had centered around the rookie success of the Hazers, dominance of the Oceanics, relentlessness of the Savage Speeders and the O'Rangers, surprise in the biathlon, not to mention the fall from grace that Mellow Yellow experienced and the formation of Team Momary. 2018 had been full of twists and turns, and the final event was no exception. Fans and Marble athletes alike were on the edge of their seat until the very end. The focus was not the Midnight Wisps. And that makes sense to me because when people talk about the most memorable wins in Marble League, Midnight Wisps are not said. Midnight Wisps,
right,
for a team that's won the Marble League, is still completely not a mainstream team. No one really talks about them. People talk about Savage Speeders, O'Rangers, even Raspberry Racers, all the time. Who won? Mellow Yellow won this year. No, yeah, Mellow Yellow. People like Mellow Yellow, but no one talks about the Midnight Wisps. So I will say that it makes sense how they wrote it because it does kind of speak to the fact that they completely fell, they completely kind of came out of nowhere and people weren't focused on them at all.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember when I was watching that, and they won it. It was wait, who? I was not thinking about the Midnight Wisps at all as that season was going on. They just kind of came out of nowhere and won it at the end. And it was oh, well, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's basically the article. And then they obviously talked about how they were not so great in the coming years. And it was been nothing great lately. But yeah, so definitely check out those articles. They're on joesmarbleruns.com. RetRollSpectives are all posted. They're slowly updating all of them. This one hasn't been updated yet. You can tell because they wish them luck in 2020 and it's 2021 already. But they're slowly updating all of them, and they're good. They just have if you're really into the lore and want to just know little extra things about the teams, it's definitely worth a read.
Yeah, I know, like, I'll have to read it for next week and get if I have anything to say. But I know, like, there's an addendum, so there's something else I could read. I don't know if you read the addendum version.
No, I did not.
So yeah, okay. I guess I'll read that, and then we can add that to everything.
Sure.
See if there's anything new to discuss.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that will wrap things up for today's episode. That's a lot of interesting things coming up, but we still haven't gotten content in a while. So go JMR, stop traveling to New York and start making more videos. And so yeah, Woff, whenever you're ready, you can take us out.
All right then. Roll on, Marble sports fans.